Law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum application. Now here this application is a bomb initially is at rest, bomb mass is m, it is at the rest condition. Now it explodes into suppose 3 parts, it is exploding into total 3 parts. Then what will be the situations here? So let me take one mass as m1, other mass as m2 and other one mass as m3, like that. The that is a bomb, this is initially we call it as a bomb is there, this is a bomb. It explodes into how many parts? We told 3 parts. So here this is the situation, bomb explodes into 3 parts. In our last class we discussed bomb explodes into 2 parts. Now bomb explodes into 3 parts. Let us take this is a M1 and M2 body are perpendicular to each other. Let us take M1 and M2, they are moving perpendicular to each other. They are moving perpendicular to each other. So let us take like that, M1 and M2 are moving perpendicular to each other. Let us see here, the momentum of M1 body is P1 bar, momentum of M2 body is P2 bar. And what is the momentum of this M3 body means? Let me take P3. P3 bar. This is the momentum vector. We'll write P3 bar. Now we'll discuss the topic here. That is there any explosion? That means the external force means explosion is due to internal force. There is no external force. There is no external force means what I can say, beta? Yes, when there is no external force, I can say that it is the before explosion, momentum before explosion is 0. Momentum before explosion is 0. Then what is momentum after explosion? After explosion, because it is at rest we told. So before it is 0. After explosion what will happen? Momentum after explosion means I can write 0 is equal to here P1 bar plus P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P2 bar plus, and again one more thing we have here, that is a P3 bar. So the total momentum before explosion and total momentum after explosion must remain same, as initially the condition for here what we selected is rest condition. So the momentum became 0. Rest means momentum is 0. After explosion we have P1 bar, P2 bar, P3 bar. So the total momentum before explosion is equal to total momentum after explosion. Why you have written P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar, sir? Because we have the explosion, after explosion we got into 3 parts. The bomb explodes into 3 parts. One part mass m1, other part mass m2, other part mass m3. And this momentum of mass m1 is p1 bar, momentum of mass m2 is p2 bar, and momentum of mass m3 is p3 bar. So total momentum before explosion is equal to total momentum after explosion. There's nothing but 0 is equal to P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar. Is it clear, beta? Just we saying that momentum before 0 after P1 bar, P2 bar, P3 bar. Fine. Here one more thing here, when this is 0 means, and one more information I given, P1 bar plus P2 bar, how they are P1 bar and P2 bar? They are perpendicular to each other. This is the information given in the question itself. So that let me take it is 90 degree, P1 bar and P2 bar, perpendicular means 90 degree. Let us take a first page here now. Let us see now what is happening. P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar is equal to 0. Now P1 bar plus P2 bar is equal to what should I write? Minus P3 bar. I can write P1 bar, because P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar is 0 means Obviously, we can write P1 bar plus P2 bar is minus P3 bar, minus P3 bar. What does it indicate? What does it indicate? This information, what does it indicate means? So, P3 bar, from here I have to analyze that. That is, I have to analyze that. The P3 is exactly opposite to resultant of P1 and P2. Resultant P3 bar is exactly opposite to resultant of P1 bar and P2 bar. Resultant of P1 bar and P2 bar. Okay, already we observed the diagram also. Let me write again the diagram here once for formality here. You observe beta here. So, these two are P1 and P2, fine. This is a P1 and this is a P2, and let me call this as a P3 here. Now, what I told already means, okay, P2 and P1 they are going perpendicular here, and the angle between them is 90 we told. Fine, they are 90 and this is a suppose a P1 bar direction and this is a P2 bar direction. Okay, we are happy till here, already it came in question itself. Now, the resultant, always we know from parallelogram law of vector addition, resultant of those two will be somewhere in between P1 bar and P2 bar. It has to either lie on P1 bar or either lie on P2 bar, or it has to lie between P1 bar and P2 bar from parallelogram law of vector addition. So, the resultant of these two P1 bar, P2 bar, resultant lie between them. Resultant formula, what we can write? P1 bar plus P2 bar. Now, what we noticed in my last expression? Yes, P3 bar is exactly opposite to P1 bar plus P2 bar resultant. Exactly opposite to P1 bar plus P2 bar means what should I write now? Exact opposite direction like this. This is the P3 bar direction. P3 bar direction opposite to P1 bar plus P2 bar. From this information, I can conclude that P1 bar plus P2 bar is equal to minus P3 bar. You can observe now. Observe carefully beta. This is P3 bar and this is P1 bar plus P2 bar. They are exactly opposite. That is, opposite is indicated by negative sign. They are indicated by negative sign. Fine, till here we understood something that P1 bar plus P2 bar is equal to minus P3 bar. Now, P1 bar plus P2 bar is equal to minus P3 bar. We are happy till here, and we know that we already informed P1 bar is perpendicular to P2 bar. This is the information already we gave at the starting itself. In the question itself I have given P1 bar P2 bar are perpendicular. I have taken like that. So, P1 bar P2 bar perpendicular means what we can write better. So, P1 bar perpendicular to P2 bar. So, P1 bar perpendicular to P2 bar means the resultant of these two will be in what will be the resultant? Square root of P1 square plus P2 square. P1 square plus P2 square is the resultant. From where you got this one, sir? From parallelogram law of vector addition. We know that R is equal to square root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. Suppose in parallelogram law of vector addition, if theta is 90 degree in parallelogram law of vector addition, motion in plane chapter, we came across this information and we wrote R equal to square root of P square plus Q square. That means here from this information now what should I write? The resultant of P1 bar and P2 bar. The resultant of P1 bar P2 bar as they are perpendicular. That is P1 bar plus P2 bar magnitude. P1 bar plus P2 bar magnitude is equal to P1 square plus P2 square from parallelogram law of vector addition. I hope you are clear with parallelogram law of vector addition what I can write here. After this information, I also know that. What I know beta? P3. Here previously we noticed. Let me take a fresh page now. P3 bar minus P3 bar is equal to P1 bar plus P2 bar. This already we proved. From here I can write in terms of magnitude means P3 is equal to modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar. So P3 magnitude now what means? P3 magnitude is nothing but modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar. What is modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar? Yes, modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar is square root of P1 square plus P2 square. These are resultant of P1 bar and P2 bar. Square root of P1 square plus P2 square. So from this information I can write P3 is equal to square root of P1 square plus P2 square. This is the momentum of the third body. When a bomb explodes into three parts, the third part momentum is P3. P3 is equal to square root of P1 square plus P2 square. This is the momentum of third part of the explosion. So here you observe what we discussed in today's class. Here a bomb is there of mass m. It is initially rest, that is before explosion the momentum is zero. Now it is explodes. Bomb explosion means internal force, there is no external force. So total momentum after also must be equal to total momentum before explosion. So what are the momentums here means? P1 bar, P2 bar, P3 bar. These are the momentums here. So total, that means it became into three parts. The bomb at rest explodes and became three parts, means three parts momentum. Let us take first part momentum P1 bar, second part momentum P2 bar, third part momentum P3 bar. From here total momentum before is equal to total momentum after, that is before 0, after P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar. So from this information I understood total momentum before and after same because of there is no external force, and the momentum of M1 body is P1 bar, momentum of M2 body is P2 bar, momentum of M3 body is P3 bar. Like that I can conclude here. So now what I did here is I know that already in the question itself I understood P1 bar P2 bar are perpendicular. So the resultant of these two from parallelogram law of acceleration lies somewhere between P1 bar and P2 bar, and I got P1 bar plus P2 bar in this direction. Okay, fine, P1 bar plus P2 bar in this direction. What about P3? The P3 is in opposite direction to P1 bar plus P2 bar. How you know it is opposite, sir? How you know it is opposite? Because you see my previous expression. P1 bar plus P2 bar is minus P3 bar means P3 is exactly opposite to resultant of P1 bar plus P2 bar. In which direction P1 bar plus P2 bar lies? For that exactly opposite direction P3 bar will lies. So that from that I have drawn the diagram. P3 bar direction opposite to P1 bar plus P2 bar. So P1 bar plus P2 bar is minus P3 bar. Fine, we got that information. After that what we did? P1 bar plus P2 bar minus P3 bar. As we know, P1 bar is perpendicular to P2 bar. P1 bar perpendicular to P2 bar. From here, from parallelogram law of acceleration, modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar, I can write square root of P1 square plus P2 square. If any two vectors are perpendicular, the resultant will be square root of sum of their squares. Square root of sum of their squares. From parallelogram law of acceleration, we got this one. So P1 bar plus P2 bar and modulus of P1 bar plus P2 bar magnitude we got. Fine. In the last page what we told as P1 bar plus P2 bar resultant is opposite to P3 bar and minus sign indicates minus sign indicates direction opposite, but magnitude of P3, is equal to what? Magnitude of resultant of P1 bar and P2 bar. So P3 is equal to resultant of P1 bar plus P2 bar. Already just now we told P1 bar plus P2 bar is equal to how much we told? It is nothing but square root of P1 square plus P2 square. Let us bring that value here and substitute. So P3 magnitude is square root of P1 square plus P2 square. So from here, final conclusion, a bomb as test explodes into totally how many parts? 3 parts here. In these 3 parts, what will happen? 2 parts are moving perpendicular. They have given information. This is a M1 body and this is M2 body. They are moving P1 bar and P2 bar. It is at rest initially and it explodes, we told less in explodes. So the resultant will be in this direction for P1 bar and P2 bar, because they told they are perpendicular. Somewhere they will lie in between here, P1 bar plus P2 bar, and the P3 bar will be exactly opposite. How we know? Means we know that P1 bar plus P2 bar plus P3 bar is equal to 0, because the momentum after explosion is equal to momentum before explosion before is 0. So from here we can understand that P3 bar is equal to minus of P1 bar plus P2 bar. That is, the P3 bar direction is exactly opposite. But P3 magnitude, what is the P3 magnitude? Means I can write square root of P1 square plus P2 square, because here they are perpendicular to each other. P1 perpendicular to P2 bar. P1 perpendicular to P2 bar means magnitude we can write square root of P1 square plus P2 square. This is the information for bomb explodes into 3 parts. Bomb explodes into 3 parts. This is the information.